Teamster Power 767 Reality Check with Jeff Schenfeld and Garfield Hooper. All right, Garfield. Here we go, getting right into it.
Every
As
time.
always. Yep, absolutely. So, a couple of things we want to talk about. First, we're going to talk about Article 20, Section 5, identification. Okay?
Yeah, we've had some, and I'll read from this here in a minute. But it's like, obviously we've talked about this before. It's important that the supervisors and management, they're supposed to wear ID. Like, you're supposed to know who they are. I imagine if you're a driver, you probably know who all your management is. But
Yeah.
a lot of like part-timers and stuff may not. Obviously, if I'm a driver, I'm probably not going to know the name of every part-time supervisor on the belt if I see something happening or whatever. So it's important that if you see a violation occur, that you be able to identify that person. So if necessary, you could go to their boss or even file a grievance on it to say, hey, this stuff needs to stop.
It avoids the tension. It avoids the
Yeah.
tension. Like, hey, what's your name? Well, I don't have to tell you. You do have to tell us,
Yeah.
okay? Because you have to wear it on you. You don't have to tell us.
Yeah.
You got to wear it. And, you don't want you want to take that stressful situation out of it, that,
Yeah.
potential flare up. So,
Yeah.
you know,
But I'll read from this. It's Article 20, Section 5, identification. Should the employer find it necessary to require employees to carry or record full personal identification, such requirements shall be complied with by the employees. The cost of such personal identification shall be borne by the employer. Employees other than applicants shall be paid up to 2 hours at their current straight time hourly rate for pay for their time in the process of obtaining an airport badge. This includes obtaining the initial badge and any recertification badge. Provisions on supplements, riders, or addenda that are superior shall prevail.
yeah, it's so. And then the last part, which is what we were kind of talking about,
Yeah.
just a second ago, is all management personnel shall wear an ID badge or name tag identifying them as a supervision while on duty and shall provide their name upon request. Okay? And that's it. It's simple. It's simple. We get into the building with our ID, we put it away, that's it. Okay? And management needs to wear it. And they don't. They don't. You see the situations like you're asking us to do something, to do things during the day, whatever it is, but you're not going to do what you're supposed to do? Nope.
And they'll discipline you for every little thing. So, this is an easy grievance to file. This is an easy grievance to be like, hey,
Yep.
somebody is walking around the building without identification.
Yeah.
But the company can be equally petty. Sometimes we have to be petty as well. But
Yeah.
here's the thing: this is contractual language.
Yep.
How hard is it to put it on an identification bag? We're not required to. The company, at least no building I've ever been to, has ever required me to wear my badge.
No.
So I keep it on me to get in the building, and that's it.
Yeah.
As far as the airport airport
it.
badge stuff, that's a different story.
Absolutely.
Because I believe, that's federal, so I'm pretty sure everybody has to be wearing a badge at all times if they're in the airports.
They do.
Yeah, I don't deliver to an airport or deliver out of one. I know that's a whole big ordeal. They won't even let us get on the air trailers. So
Yeah.
even the guys that work in the air trailers in our hub don't, they have to wear their airport badges all the time and stuff in there. But as far as us, just your regular run of the mill, preloader, local sort, driver, you don't have to wear your badges. You just have to have it with you to get in and out of the building. But
Yep.
management's a different story. You should be able to communicate with your managers, and that's they have their names. They should have their names prominently displayed in a badge or a name tag or something.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? It's not even petty. It's in there for a reason. It's there.
Yeah.
They don't do it. You give them an opportunity. And then, like I said, these situations can come up and, hey, could have been avoided if you wore your badge.
Yeah.
Right? So, but, so that was one of the first things we wanted to discuss. The second thing is union activity. Now, this is important because, there are times where the company just, hey, if you're filing grievances, oh, look, they're filing grievances, we're going to go with them. Okay, that's protected under union activity. So, but
Yeah, because
Garthwick,
any type of retaliation for filing grievances or things like that is pretty blatantly
yeah,
against the contract. But
yeah,
also, having the ability. This is important also for, and I'll just read from it.
yeah,
Article 21. Any employee member of the union acting in an official capacity whatsoever shall not be discriminated against for the acts such as officer of the union, so long as such acts do not interfere with the conduct of the employer's business. Nor shall there be any discrimination against any employee because of union membership or activities. Any employee shall have the right to wear a union pin where there is a practice affording such a right. So if
yeah.
you are, proud of your union, you want to be a part of it, you can wear a union on your uniform. Like I have union lapel pins. I have a steward lapel pin as well.
Yep.
I'll
Yep.
wear on occasion. There's no reason, and I've had supervisors tell me I can't do that before, and I said yes, I can. It's in the contract. If you don't like it, write me up. We'll see where
Yeah.
that goes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's a practice affording that.
Yeah,
So, and like I said, with the grievances, people were filing a lot of grievances and it's obvious. It's obvious
yeah,
that people were filing a lot of grievances, all of a sudden they're coming after them, right? And they're discriminating against them. And, ultimately, obviously, which is the same thing, is disparate treatment.
yeah.
Okay? And so they're singling them out for being a union member.
Yeah. And
Wonder.
for
Yeah.
union activity. And then this is important too, like,
Yeah.
if you're going to file a grievance on, discrimination on, on Article 21 specifically, something like that, you know, it's important that you provide, well, I was being treated this way, and then I decided to start standing up for my rights, and then now I'm being treated this way. Like,
Yeah.
you should provide that information in your grievance. And this is, and then of course this also helps out with stewards as well, because you have access to go in and make investigations so long as it doesn't interfere with the employer's business. So
Yeah. 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 It's you know, everyone plays a role. Everyone's got to do what they have to do. And
yes,
if the company violates the contract and you file a grievance and they're coming after you, that's a no-no. And that's a big problem. Like, union activity, that's a a possible eventual labor charge, and they take that one especially seriously.
yeah,
You're absolutely violating a union member's rights.
yeah.
So, I mean, that's a problem. So, on a broader scale, we're going to go to the next one for non-discrimination, Article 36.
Yeah, this is Article 36 on here. This is another kind of a small one, but equally important.
Yeah.
The employer and the union agree not to discriminate against any individual with respect to hiring, compensation terms, or conditions of employment because of such individuals' race, color, religion, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, national origin, physical disability, veteran status, age, or any other class protected by any federal or state law, or engage in any other discriminatory acts prohibited by law. Nor will they limit, segregate, or classify employees in any way to deprive any individual employee of employment opportunities because of race, color, religion, sex, gender identity, sexual orientation, national origin, physical disability, veteran status, age, or any other class protected by any federal or state law, or engage in any other discriminatory acts prohibited by law. This article also covers employees with a qualified disability under the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Yeah. So there it is. It's covering everything. I mean,
Yeah.
if you have a disability or whatnot, they cannot discriminate against you, because of your race or sexual orientation. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean those things, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And if that's going on, then
I noticed that we don't have we don't have a lot of women that work in as drivers. Like we in our center, we've got maybe a half a dozen out of like 200 and something drivers, and it seems to me, and it's not ever been something that I can particularly prove, but it seems to me
yeah,
that women have a hard time making it into driver positions, and I think it's because of this stigma that some of these people have. And we've got some hardworking ladies in our building. that that do the job every bit as well as me and better than some.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the most obvious one that I have ever seen. Is
Yeah.
if I find that it's very difficult for a woman to move up in this company as a driver, as an hourly employee. So
That's a shame.
It is.
That's a shame. Yeah.
It's just something that people have to keep an eye out on, and if you feel like that's a reason why you're being discriminated against, like if you feel like that's the reason why you're not being offered driver positions or you're not getting through the disqualification period or whatever, then bring it up. Talk to your stewards. Talk to your business agents about it.
And document it.
Document it. Definitely.
Document everything. You don't want to, if it's really happening and you don't bring documentation, they're just gonna not take you seriously.
Yeah.
And we want everyone to be taken seriously. So
Yeah.
you bring it forward. Another thing is the ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act. Imagine if they want to violate that. I mean, that's federal. I mean, it's. My God, when you apply for one, like if you're a full timer and you have a disability, most of the time, what I've seen, they're not going to give you a full time job. They're going to say, hey, we only have a part time job for you. But that's that. You know what I'm saying? But no matter what, I you kind of notice that there are some. I don't know. Some things when they're talking, they're like, well, we really don't have anything. They're doing that because they don't want to give you a full time job. Plus, they're like, oh, I gotta. And it seems, and they don't want to accommodate. Like they kind of have to, but the way they go about it, it's. But I mean, that's that though. I mean, it's, we just.
And the ADA is a whole process too, because we've had some guys in our center that have gotten hurt on the job and have ended up having to ADA, and it's not something that I hope anybody ever has to go through, because this is a rough job. It is hard on your body. It's some people can get through and do it for 30, 35, 40 years, and some people can't. And the thing is like that starts when you're getting started, like in your 20s. You got to treat yourself right. You got to take care of yourself. You can't get in a hurry. You can't make those mistakes, because eventually it's going to catch up with you. And we don't want anybody to get hurt. We don't want anybody to see that. And we especially don't want anybody to have to, heaven forbid, move into management with the ADA. With the ADA.
God forbid. Are you kidding me? Oh, for even saying that. Yeah, it's I just some things that go on. I mean, just some things you see and stuff like that. But I'm glad we went over this. I want everyone to always stay strong, stay vigilant. For myself and Garfield, everyone have a good day.
We all deal with national language, but on this podcast, when it comes to supplemental language, we deal mostly with the southern region. And as always, it's best to get advice from your local stewards or business agents. If you would like to reach out to us with any questions, we have an email address, 767realitycheck@gmail.com. That's 767realitycheck@gmail.com.
And remember, strong people stand up for themselves, but the strongest people stand up for others.